Good day, RGV. Today on Valley por Vida, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be bringing you all things Hollywood with a new Reels, Ratings, and Reviews segment. We've got fun facts about some of your favorite classic films, including a trivia time game to see how much you know about your movie history. Plus, the month of April has a lot going on, and we're breaking it all down in our National Month calendar. Again, there's a lot to dissect here, so stick with us. Valley por Vida starts right now. Hi there, and thanks again for joining us today. I'm your host, Danielle Banda, and if you're a Selena Quintanilla fan, then you'll be glad to know that the film is returning to theaters beginning tomorrow to honor the iconic queen of Tejano music star for a special 25th anniversary event. So we thought it'd be fun to look back at some of her work.
Great to be with you, Danielle, and I love Texas. Obviously, I spent almost a year there filming Selena and the movie, and I love Texas, and the Tejano community is so fabulous. I'd like to start by saying that I couldn't have made this film without the support of the Tejano community. I mean, Jennifer's performance, spectacular. Eddie Olmos, all the technicians, we all worked so hard to make this film. We were all inspired by Selena's light and her spirit. And it was different than any movie I've ever made. We really wanted to bring her light to the world, to preserve it in a beautiful way, because we wanted to do something positive out of the tragedy of her death. But it also would not have been possible without the Tejano community. They really supported this film. When you see the film, and starting on April the 7th on the big screen again in theaters, yay! And that opening scene at the Houston Astrodome, when we filmed that, 35,000 people came for free, filled the stadium, dressed as if they were coming to a Selena concert. They stayed all day to help us film that historic concert. 35,000 people. And, you know, that's something that I don't think any other filmmaker has ever had an experience like that. It was so special. They came, the Tejano community supported us, and they came. There's no CGI, no visual effects in that scene. That is real people filling that stadium. And they came out of love. And that is what Selena inspires in all of us, is love. Well, it's a tremendous honor. I mean, what film has that kind of long life? What film gets re-released after 25 years and seems like it's brand new, you know? All of it, you can attribute all of it to the beautiful spirit of Selena. She's magic. You know, she's magic and continues to be magic, continues to be an inspiration for all of us. And I have to tell you that the film also was just awarded probably the greatest honor that a movie can receive in the United States. It was named to the National Registry by the Library of Congress of American Classic Films. So there it is with Casablanca and, you know, Citizen Kane and Vertigo and all the greatest movies that have ever been made.
And speaking of Hollywood entertainment, I'm so excited to kick off today's show with the latest on what's going on in Hollywood and in entertainment in general in today's Reels, Ratings, and Reviews segment.
We begin with the idea that something else must have happened besides the slap seen around the world at Sunday's Oscars. Indeed, something else did happen. 23 Oscars were handed out, including some very notable and grateful winners. Look.
Ariana DeBose, West Side Story.
Ariana DeBose from West Side Story becoming the first openly queer woman of color to win any category.
Imagine this little girl in the back seat of a white Ford Focus. Look into her eyes. You see a queer, openly queer woman of color, an Afro-Latina, who found her strength in life through art. And that's what I believe we're here to celebrate. So to anybody who has ever questioned your identity, ever, or you find yourself living in the gray spaces, I promise you this, there is indeed a place for us. Thank you to the Academy, and thank you all.
As for Best Supporting Actor, we had a hunch this would happen. And a lot of people think you're going to walk out of here holding an Academy Award. And it did. Troy Kotsur also made history as the first male deaf actor.
Troy Kotsur.
This is dedicated to the deaf community, the CODA community, and the disabled community. This is our moment.
The Power of the Dog, director Jane Campion swept the Best Directors category all season long, and this was the culmination. An Oscar win, making Jane the third woman in the award's 94-year history to win Best Director.
Jane Campion, Power of the Dog.
As for Best Actress in a Leading Role, Jessica Chastain was feeling great on the carpet.
To be here tonight, I'm seeing all of your beautiful faces. I haven't seen your faces in a really long time.
And even better on stage when she won for The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Jessica Chastain, guys.
Be sure to stick with us for the latest on what's going on in Hollywood, and as well as at the theater or on your streaming devices in our What's Up Entertainment segment. And there are actually a lot of behind-the-scenes types of things that were not, widely known when it comes to the world of music and movies. So we thought that we'd take you for a little journey to uncover some of those fun facts. Now, according to BoredPanda.com, the film Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge hit. I mean, if you've ever watched the movie yourself, then you probably even heard of it, right? If you never have. Well, the site says that actor Chris Pratt apparently stole his Star-Lord costume from one of the sets one day, and he said it was because he wanted to have it readily available so that he could visit ill children in the hospital, kiddos who maybe would just have their day brightened by meeting Star-Lord. Very thoughtful. The site also says that the movie Armageddon portrays NASA during their management training program phase. See, it outlines that new managers are given the task of trying to find as many errors as they can, and that at least 168 have been found. It's super interesting. Now, if you're a fan of the Dallas Buyers Club, then maybe you'd be interested to know, if you didn't already, that the film's budget was so low that their makeup budget alone was only about $250. The site says that the movie's artists were definitely able to work, with that as evidenced in the film, and then that their makeup and hairstyling team even won an Oscar. Talk about overcoming the challenges, right? The Godfather is also one which stayed in the hearts of so many as a true classic. So if that's you, did you know that the cat held by Marlon Brando in the opening scene was actually one that Coppola found somewhere just in the parking lot there on Paramount grounds? The site outlines that apparently it was not even called for in the script, but it's, I'd say the little things like that just really make for an interesting story. And finally, The Matrix. Now, it's pretty cool because the site says that the Kung Fu choreographer, initially didn't really want to work on the film. So much so that he actually asked for a really high fee in hopes that the filmmakers would just be like, yeah, never mind. Plus, he asked for all kinds of big things, like wanting to be in a complete control of basically all of the fights. He even said that he would needed to train each actor for 4 months before they shot the film, and apparently the list went on. Well, they ended up giving him all that he wanted, so I guess it worked out pretty well for him, for them, and of course for all of us as viewers. So now you know a little bit more about what's going on right now in entertainment and Hollywood, plus for the classics, and a few fun facts about some of time's best, greatest films. But how much do you know about one classic? Let's say if I were to quiz you, let's go ahead and find out. All right, so according to this site, in the past, it was considered really inappropriate to show a toilet being flushed in any TV series or film. But there was one film that broke that barrier for those thereafter. So, was it A, Batman, B, Scream 5, C, Despicable Me, D, West Side Story, or E, Psycho? Well, we're going to go ahead and give you a little bit of time, not to cheat by looking it up, but to think about it. Because it's actually time now for us to take a commercial break, and then we've got to look at your local weather updates. But be sure to stay tuned because we're going to be right back. And we're going to be introducing you to a student from the Valley who has big aspirations in life for after graduation. We'll also break down even more celebrations from the National Month calendar. Plus, we'll have some interesting yet very useful health tips for you to keep in mind. All of that and so much more after the break.